Another episode of From has arrived, which means another episode making me feel like I have a rod stuck in my head. Although this episode was slower than most, there are still a bunch of new clues and revelations that give us a bit more insight into whatever the hell is going on. In this breakdown, we're getting rid of all the recap and focusing just on all the theories, clues, and mysteries. I've left timestamps below so you can see everything we'll be discussing. Let's get into it. This episode, more than any thus far, hints at two opposing forces using our townspeople as pawns, and what better analogy to show this off than chess. Kenny's father holds a chessboard, Father Khatri holds a pawn, and the word pawn is used rather pointedly.
That something here was talking to her, using her like
a pawn.
Chess is a game where pieces are controlled by two opposing sides, and it seems like our townspeople are caught in a game between good and evil. When the ghost of Father Khatri arrives, he explains to Boyd the importance of not telling Kenny that Sara killed his father, stating that it's better the town stays unified and strong. Sara, who appears to hear voices from the quote-unquote evil side, tells Kenny that she killed his dad, causing Kenny to quit as deputy and strain his relationship with Boyd. So it appears that the ghosts, like Khatri, have the best interest of the townspeople at heart, while the voices that Sara hears do not. But we have to keep in mind that not everything in this town is as it seems. Closely tied to this theory is Jim wondering if they're all in some sort of experiment designed to see how they would react. He tells his wife about the man on the radio who somehow knew his name and that she was digging. Either there is some sort of informant in the group, someone is watching them, or an all-knowing entity that is keeping tabs on them. Donna also heard this voice, so it's not just in Jim's head, but she tells him to keep quiet about it until they can gather more information. The last thing they need are the townspeople going nuts that someone or something is watching them. We also don't know if this man on the radio is good or evil. He sure isn't helping them, and Donna states there are people out there like the monsters who look just like them but can rip your face off, so who's to say this guy isn't one of them? Although there isn't much character development for Tabitha this episode, I did want to talk about her first scene where she's caught daydreaming out the window. My guess is that she's experiencing another vision of the ghost children, evidenced by the fact she's left the water faucet on, eyes glued outside, and tells her daughter she's continuing to see visions. I'm not entirely sold that these ghosts are evil. If anything, I think they need Tabitha's help. Sara will later tell Boyd that the boy in white, for example, wants their help, but isn't sure how, and Khatri seems to have their best interests at heart too. The end of episode 3 saw the return of Sara, who we haven't seen since the finale of season 1. Boyd is brought to her and thus commences the worst interrogation ever. She basically states that she followed him after he went into the faraway tree and ended up in the church basement. I don't know about you guys, but this strikes me as a bunch of baloney. Now Boyd is in a predicament because the town will want to get rid of Sara. He wants her to stay, believing she has a special connection with this place and that she may be the key to unlocking its secrets and them finding their way out. And just a reminder, if you like these breakdowns, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and I plan on doing the rest of the season. Plus, I'm also covering Silo, which is pretty darn good. Last episode, we saw Boyd's shoulder cut open by Martin, the mysterious chained man. This resulted in him infected by these worm-like creatures, the same ones that could be seen on Martin. Boyd stumbles to the ground as he sees the worms yet again, the implication being that these worms are having an adverse effect on his body. We know that the monsters last episode bypassed Boyd after he was infected, and now that he's infected, he can see the ghost of Father Khatri. Is this merely a coincidence, or do these worms have a deeper connection to this place? Boyd also withholds information to Christy about where he got this cut, just like he didn't tell his son Ellis about meeting the chained man in episode 3. He doesn't want people to know about his illness. We also see the after effects of the spider bites he got in the season 1 finale. So between the worms, spider bites, and the shakes we saw him have in season 1 episode 5, the writers here are really giving us many potential misdirects on the cause of Boyd's problems. Although not a massive clue by any means, Jade and Bakta have something in common which might point at who the town chooses to suck into its pull. Both Jade and Bakta had accomplished something fulfilling before being sucked into town. Jade had sold his company, and Bakta saved a bunch of money to treat herself for a vacation. We also know that the town chooses people who are running away from something, like Father Khatri in Season 1, so this new clue will stay on my radar. Gotta bring this up, but found it a bit weird that Marielle was rummaging through the medicine cabinet. I get that she's a nurse, but it struck me a bit odd, especially considering there's no patients there. This new guy Randall sure isn't taking too kindly to the town's rules, especially communal sharing, and he's particularly protective of whatever's in his bag. Is that because he's hiding something, or he's just really against sharing? Regardless, Donna moves Randall into the still blood-stained bus and gives him a talisman to survive. I expect Randall will be up to no good going forward. Well, it looks like Fanny Pack Girl finally has a name, Tilly, which means mighty in battle, an interesting name for someone so frail and old. She somehow knows that Boyd has been on an adventure, and as I stated in my last video, there's definitely something going on with her. That's pretty much it for this episode. It looks like the town may be split in two on what to do about Sarah's fate, with Kenny and Boyd taking opposite sides. But now I want to hear what you think. Leave your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, be sure to like and subscribe, and for more bad takes you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember,
I got a little mystery boy sending people through magic trees in the forest.